Hi, this is Sean Bodley with Clear Technologies. I'm a senior IT consultant and also an IBM champion on power systems. And I'm going to give a very quick demo of the Rootvg failure detection capabilities in PowerHA for AIX version 7.2. Now, the detection of a lost Rootvg is not really new in clustering. In general, it's actually kind of one of the more core principles of clustering. So, back in the good old days of dedicated systems, internal disks, you lost the OS, the system went down on its own. The other node missed heartbeats, detected the failure, and would fail over. Once SAN boot became prevalent, we could actually continue to run the OS in memory in many cases, maybe a couple minutes. I've seen it go as long as 45 minutes and continue to operate. So it would actually still process heartbeats even though it could not access the OS volume anymore. So this has been a different problem over time. And back in version 7.0 of PowerHA, I'll spare you most of the technical details, but there was a Rootvg system event added that was really kind of a combined effort of ClusterAware AIX and the PowerVM via the VIOS and PowerHA teams to have that come to fruition. So now there's a different way, which is we're essentially taking advantage of the LVM characteristic of making a volume group a critical volume group. Now, this is something that's been around for a little while, several versions actually, and historically one of the main uses when it first came out was, in Oracle clusters for the Oracle voting disks, we would mark them as a critical volume group. So now we just mark Rootvg as a critical volume group, and we do this from the command line. And in my case, since I already have a cluster configured, I can execute the clcmd command. So I just run this command once and it'll go update every node in the cluster with this setting. So it's just a -r space y Rootvg. And then I check the setting just to verify that it truly is enabled. And that's it. That's all you have to do. And then I'm going to switch over in just a second to actually perform the demo. So just a couple of quick resources. Probably the best resource is this PowerHA wiki. It has a list of all these demos and the red books, white papers, their base pubs. Pretty good one-stop shopping. If you're watching this video, you're probably watching it on my YouTube channel. And of course, feel free to follow me on Twitter. You're not going to miss a lot if you don't, but I only tweet a couple of times a week. So as usual, feel free to hit me on Twitter, or you're always welcome to leave comments and questions on these demos. I'm pretty good about responding back to them. And you can also just send me an email at sbodley@cleartechnologies.net. And if I don't know the answer, I'll see if I can go find out what the answer is. So with that, let me exit out of this, and I will switch over to perform the demo. So what I've got here is just a 2-node hot standby cluster. My current primary node is 7.2a, owns my resource group, which is actually the blue screen over here. The standby node is 7.2b, just sitting here, waiting to spring into action when needed. So what I was going to show here is that you're really not going to get to see much on 7.2a because it's going to disappear. But why I have this screen pulled up is that right before performing this demo now, I did a little bit earlier today to actually make sure it worked. And you can actually see in the error report that it will insert the panic. So you can see that afterwards. I'm just showing it before because you have to wait for it to boot back up afterwards. So I won't show it post in this case, but you can see an example of it. And then above here I have my storage is a v7.2, and my preferred method of making Rootvg disappear is simply unmap the LUN to the host. So that's what I'm going to do. So okay, here we go. Oh, and also on the bottom left here, I'm simply performing a tail on the HACMP.out. So we'll see that once I unmap this, it detects it very quickly. And in my case, I've just got a service IP address and a volume group and a file system. I don't have a real application. So the failover is very quick. So all I'm doing here is simply telling it to unmap. It's executing. Task completed. And now if we watch over here, we'll see that I've already lost communication. I can't talk to 7.2a at all. There we go. That's it. So took a few seconds to accept that the other node was gone. And overall, that's it. So it's failed over to the other node. And that concludes the demonstration. Of course, as always, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. And now I will go back and map my LUN back and bring the system back up, but I don't really see a purpose in showing that. So I will conclude the demo. And as always, thanks for watching.